Welcome back to the MbaguMedia Finance podcast. Today, we're diving deep into a developing story that could significantly reshape the defense landscape in the Indo-Pacific.
That's right. We're talking about the private talks between the United States and South Korea regarding the potential joint construction of nuclear-powered submarines. It's a monumental shift, not just an upgrade.
Absolutely. This isn't just about increasing naval power, it signals a potential new era in defense collaboration between these two key allies. The implications are far-reaching, especially given the already tense security dynamics in the region.
It's a fundamental recalibration, really. The announcement by the two presidents just 2 weeks ago points towards a deepening alliance, forged by evolving threats and a shared vision for stability.
Let's start by setting the stage. The Indo-Pacific region is undeniably facing an escalating and multifaceted threat landscape. North Korea's persistent nuclear and missile programs are a constant source of instability.
And that's not all. China's rapid naval expansion, its assertive stance in the South China Sea, and its growing military presence are actively reshaping the regional balance of power. It's a complex environment.
In this volatile situation, even robust security architectures are being tested. South Korea, with its advanced economy and strategic location, has a capable conventional submarine force, a testament to its technological skill.
However, these diesel-electric submarines have inherent limitations. They need to snorkel for air to recharge batteries, which creates a vulnerability that modern sonar can exploit. Against sophisticated adversaries, these limitations become strategic liabilities.
And that's precisely where the appeal of nuclear-powered submarines comes into play. The strategic advantage they offer is truly transformative, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. Imagine a submarine that can stay submerged for months, its nuclear reactor providing virtually unlimited power. This allows for continuous operation without needing to surface or snorkel at all.
The extended range and unparalleled submerged endurance offer a level of operational flexibility and stealth that conventional submarines simply cannot match. They can patrol vast areas undetected.
It's not just about being harder to find, either. It fundamentally changes the submarine's operational profile. Think of it like this: a diesel-electric sub is a sprinter needing frequent breaks, while a nuclear sub is an ultramarathon runner, capable of sustained performance.
Beyond just deterrence, the strategic benefits are significant. Nuclear submarines unlock a whole spectrum of offensive and defensive capabilities crucial for today's complex security environment.
They can be potent platforms for land attack cruise missiles, acting as a strategic deterrent. They can also conduct highly effective anti-surface warfare, neutralizing enemy fleets.
And in a region with vital maritime choke points like the Strait of Malacca, their role in ensuring freedom of navigation and protecting sea lanes becomes incredibly important.
So, what specific regional challenges are driving this significant technological and strategic leap? It really seems to be the convergence of North Korea's evolving nuclear arsenal and China's maritime ambitions.
Exactly. It's a proactive response to a rapidly changing and increasingly hostile security environment. This move signals that South Korea and the US are prioritizing future deterrence and defense strategies.
Now, let's unpack this joint build concept. It sounds more significant than just a standard arms sale, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. A joint build suggests shared technological development, deep integration of industrial capabilities, and a mutual commitment to operational readiness. It's a true synergy.
The fact that these talks are described as private is also quite telling. It implies a high level of sensitivity and complexity surrounding the discussions, given the nature of nuclear submarine technology.
Sharing or jointly developing such sensitive military assets indicates an extraordinary level of trust and strategic alignment between the US and South Korea. It's a big deal.
When we compare this to something like the AUKUS Pact, which focuses on transferring US technology to Australia, the US-South Korea talks seem to lean towards a more integrated joint build.
That's a great point. It might involve shared design elements, manufacturing processes, and even co-development of components. This suggests a deeper partnership, moving beyond simple technology transfer to co-production.
The economic and industrial implications are immense for both nations. For South Korea, this could propel its shipbuilding industry into a global leadership position in nuclear naval technology.
And for the US, it's an opportunity to leverage its technological edge while potentially sharing the significant costs and R&D burden associated with maintaining its nuclear submarine fleet. It could also bolster defense industrial capacity and create jobs.
We also need to consider the technological transfer and intellectual property aspects. How will designs for nuclear reactors, sonar, and stealth technologies be shared? Who will own the IP?
Those are complex questions requiring meticulous negotiation and robust legal frameworks. But before we get too deep into that, let's talk about the hurdles. This path is definitely not smooth.
You're right. There are significant technical, political, and non-proliferation hurdles to navigate. Let's start with the technical complexities of nuclear propulsion for submarines.
It's not just about fitting a reactor onto a hull. It's an entire ecosystem of advanced technologies, including specialized materials for shielding and structural integrity under immense pressure.
And the safety protocols are paramount. The training required for crews to operate and maintain these reactors safely is exceptionally rigorous. The US has decades of experience, but transferring this is a monumental task.
South Korea does have a strong domestic nuclear energy program, which provides a foundation of expertise. However, naval reactors have distinct requirements: compact size, high power density, long operational life.
Bridging that gap will require significant adaptation and innovation. Then there are the political hurdles, especially on the US side, with extremely strict regulations on nuclear technology exports.
US domestic regulations, the Atomic Energy Act, and international agreements all govern the sharing of such sensitive materials. Any transfer requires extensive congressional approval and stringent oversight.
And the potential for proliferation is always a concern. Any transfer of nuclear technology, even to an ally, faces intense scrutiny to ensure it cannot be diverted for illicit purposes.
This brings us to the critical issue of international non-proliferation treaties, like the NPT. While South Korea is a signatory with a strong track record, developing nuclear-powered submarines could be perceived differently.
It might be seen by some as a step towards enhancing nuclear capabilities, potentially complicating its NPT obligations and raising questions from the international community. That's a delicate balance.
The reactions from regional powers, particularly China and North Korea, cannot be overstated. Beijing views any enhancement of US military capabilities with suspicion, and North Korea might see it as justification for its own programs.
Addressing these concerns requires deft diplomacy. Transparency measures, robust safeguards, and clear communication with regional partners will be essential to mitigate fears.
The goal is to ensure the initiative is viewed as purely defensive and aimed at enhancing stability, not escalating conflict. How do we balance the benefits of enhanced security against the risks of proliferation and regional instability?
That's the central question diplomacy must answer. Overcoming these multifaceted challenges will require careful planning, robust technological solutions, and a commitment to international norms.
Now, let's transition to the summary table provided. It breaks down the key factors, strengths, insights, challenges, and weaknesses of this potential collaboration.
Under strategic imperative, the strengths are clear: addressing escalating regional threats from North Korea and China, enhancing deterrence, and ensuring freedom of navigation.
But the challenges are also significant: the risk of a regional arms race, increased tensions with China and North Korea, and the need to manage international perceptions carefully.
Moving to technological complexity, the strengths lie in leveraging advanced US technology and potentially integrating South Korea's expertise. However, the challenges are substantial R&D needs, stringent safety protocols, and long development timelines.
On the political and legal framework, a major strength is the deepening of the US-South Korea alliance through unprecedented cooperation. It demonstrates a strong US commitment to the region.
The challenges here involve strict US domestic regulations on nuclear tech export, complex congressional approvals, and potential international scrutiny regarding non-proliferation.
Regarding non-proliferation concerns, South Korea's strong track record in peaceful nuclear cooperation is a key strength, alongside the emphasis on defensive capabilities.
Yet, the challenges include the perception of enhanced nuclear capabilities by some nations, potential NPT complications, and the absolute need for robust international oversight and transparency.
Finally, looking at the industrial and economic impact, the strengths include elevating South Korea's defense industry and enhancing industrial capacity for the U.S., plus job creation and innovation.
The weaknesses or challenges are the massive infrastructure investment required, integrating complex supply chains, and the need for careful negotiation of IP rights and technology sharing agreements.
This brings us to the conclusion. This collaboration represents a significant upgrade to the U.S.-South Korea alliance, signaling deeper integration and a more robust collective defense posture.
It's more than just a military acquisition, it's a strategic statement of commitment and shared responsibility. For North Korea, the prospect of jointly developed nuclear submarines significantly strengthens deterrence.
These submarines would offer a persistent, stealthy, and potent response capability that would be extremely difficult for Pyongyang to counter. It enhances the alliance's ability to monitor and respond effectively.
The impact on regional power balances, especially concerning China, is profound. This initiative clearly signals that the U.S. is deepening its security commitments in the face of China's growing assertiveness.
It demonstrates a willingness to share advanced technology and collaborate on complex defense projects, reinforcing the credibility of U.S. alliances and the evolving nature of deterrence in the Indo-Pacific.
Furthermore, this collaboration has the potential to significantly enhance interoperability between U.S. and South Korean naval forces. Joint development often leads to better understanding of systems and doctrines.
This can translate into more seamless joint operations, improved command and control, and a more cohesive response to regional crises. It's a tangible step towards a more integrated response.
The implications for other U.S. allies in the region, like Japan and Australia, are also noteworthy. This initiative could pave the way for future collaborations and encourage similar investments in advanced capabilities.
It really sets a precedent for how alliances can evolve and deepen in response to shared security threats, fostering a more capable and interconnected regional security network.
Crucially, this initiative could redefine burden sharing within the alliance. South Korea is stepping up to co-develop and co-produce advanced capabilities, moving towards a more equitable distribution of responsibility.
It signifies a move towards a more mature and integrated partnership where both nations contribute at the highest levels of defense technology and strategy. This is a significant evolution.
In essence, the joint development of nuclear submarines is not merely a military upgrade, it's a geopolitical statement that reshapes alliances and regional security calculations. It underscores a shared commitment to confronting 21st century challenges.
Looking ahead, the success of this unprecedented collaboration could set a precedent for future high-tech defense partnerships, fundamentally altering the strategic landscape of the Indo-Pacific for decades to come.
This isn't a short-term project, it's a long-term strategic investment. Projecting the timeline is challenging, but it's reasonable to assume it would span at least a decade, if not longer, from design to deployment.
The initial negotiations are just the very first step in what will be a very long marathon. The potential scenarios for operational deployment are vast, from ISR missions to maritime interdiction operations.
Their enhanced stealth and endurance would allow them to operate in areas previously considered too risky or inaccessible for conventional naval assets. This significantly expands operational reach.
The long-term implications for naval technology development and innovation in both countries are significant. This collaboration will undoubtedly drive advancements in reactor technology, materials science, and combat systems.
It could foster a virtuous cycle of innovation, where breakthroughs in military applications find their way into civilian sectors, benefiting both nations' technological ecosystems. That's a huge potential upside.
Assessing the sustainability of such a partnership through potential changes in political leadership or regional dynamics is critical. Successful alliances need deep institutional roots that transcend individual administrations.
The shared investment and profound trust fostered by this project can create a powerful incentive for continuity. However, constant diplomatic engagement will be necessary to ensure its longevity.
What does this initiative tell us about the future of alliance structures? It suggests a move towards more integrated, capability-driven alliances where partners pool resources and expertise to develop advanced defense technologies collaboratively.
It signifies a shift from traditional, treaty-bound alliances to more flexible, mission-specific partnerships focused on addressing the most pressing security challenges. This is a modern approach to security.
It highlights the growing importance of technological parity and interoperability as cornerstones of effective collective defense in an increasingly complex world. This is the future of security cooperation.
This is more than just building submarines, it's about building a shared future of security and technological leadership in a challenging world. A truly visionary step.
The U.S.-South Korea nuclear submarine initiative is indeed a visionary step with the potential to redefine regional security and usher in a new era of allied defense cooperation. It's a powerful testament to what can be achieved
when nations align their strategic visions and technological ambitions. The results can be truly transformative. This collaboration exemplifies that principle.
And that wraps up our deep dive into the U.S.-South Korea nuclear submarine talks. We've covered the introduction, all 5 sections, the conclusion, and the detailed summary.
It's a complex issue with significant implications for the future of the Indo-Pacific. Thanks for joining us on the MbaguMedia Finance podcast.